In a recent video, I spoke about the new release Nikon Z6 II and Z7 II, and I spoke about how I wouldn't be upgrading from my current cameras, which are the Nikon D850 and D750. Well, guess what? Whoa, hang on. This isn't my camera. This was actually borrowed to me by a subscriber to my channel by the name of Chris, who lives close by. Chris contacted me and said, hey, guess what? I have the new Z6 II. Would you like to test it out? Well, my answer was absolutely yes, I'd love to. So we met up at a local park and Chris very generously loaned me his Z6 II to try out. So thank you very much, Chris. So will using the Nikon Z6 II today change my mind on buying it? Let's test it out. My testing today won't be the most technical orientated, so I won't be zooming into the corners of images for softness or pixel peeping. Instead, shooting using the different focus settings on the Z6 II, from people to animals, to just general photo scenes that I'd see every day in this location. First up, I'll start out easy, just capturing some general shots with Chris's 24 to 70mm f4S lens that he got with the Z6 II. It feels really good in the hand, and it's so light compared to my other cameras that I'm so used to that weighs an absolute ton. So, you know, if you were doing portrait, wedding photography, just being able to hold it out there. Next up, I'm going to try capturing some birds using my Nikon 80 to 400mm lens with the FDZ adapter. Okay, so I've got the Z6 II now set up for bird photography. I'm going to be shooting in 12 frames per second. Now, the Z6 II can shoot in 14 frames per second, but you need to be shooting in single point autofocus and in 12-bit. I'm not going to worry about that today. I've just set it up very quickly, similar to my D850, where I've got my AF on button, shooting in group area autofocus. I'm just going to walk around the park, see if I can get some shots of birds. I mean, maybe they'll be flying, maybe they'll be running, but we'll see how good it goes. Okay, so I've just got a little tiny water dragon sitting over here on the tree. I'm shooting in shutter priority mode, by the way, and I'm in wide area small, so we'll just see how we go. I'm just going to try and get a shot through here. I've just found this little tiny baby bird. I think he's just fallen out of his nest. He's just sitting down here. Obviously he doesn't know what humans are like yet. He's not too afraid of me. He's coming over to say hello. Absolutely beautiful. Just got this crow over here and he's being swooped by this minor bird. Just got this little baby bird sitting over in his nest here. Next, I want to try out the eye detect autofocus in video mode. Okay, so next up I've got the video testing on the Z6 II with eye detect autofocus. So what I've done is I've got Christy over here and I'm just going to get Christy to walk around in front of the camera and back and forth. I've got the Canon here looking at the back of the camera. It's kind of like the poor man's Ninja 5. Yeah, I'm just going to get Christy to walk around. So off you go, Christy. Yep, and just walk back around for me. Yep. Okay, so it's picking you up. Well, eye detect is about, I'd say about a good 3 to 4 meters away before the eye kicks in. And Christy's got glasses on as well, but it seems to be working really well. Okay, this is the 4K RAW video straight out of the Z6 II. As Christy ducks down, you can see that it snaps onto the background. then it snaps onto her eye literally instantaneously as she comes back into the frame. And now to try out some stills using iDetect autofocus using my 50mm f1.8G lens via the FTZ adapter. Okay, so that worked out pretty good. That's not too bad. I love how quiet this camera is compared to my other cameras. Very good for when you're shooting wildlife as well. So I'm getting this really nice backlight coming through the forest here. So what I'm going to do is try and take advantage of that. And it's also a good test for the Z6 II and seeing what it's like with the backlight, like a strong backlight, and using the iDetect. Okay, so I've got this really beautiful light. You can see that the light is just dancing on top of Christy's hair here. So Z6 II 50mm f2.2, and yes, straight away, straight onto her eye, really strong backlight. Let's come back a little bit further. Try some up this way. Yep, I love how it's still got her eye, even with that really strong backlight. Let me just come into about a mid shot here. About there, something like about there. In my last test for a bit of fun, I tried comparing the image quality between my D750 and the Z6 II. Both are 24 megapixel full frame cameras, using the exact same settings and both with 24 to 70mm lenses. This test surprised me a little. The image quality, I believe, was a tad sharper on the Z6 II, and that's probably due to the newer S lens. And what really stood out was the white balance difference, the Z6 II having the more natural, true-to-life colours. So after using the Z6 II for the day, would I upgrade now? Well, if I did need to upgrade for whatever reason, then yes, I probably would. Was I wrong in my other video not to buy the Z6 II? No, not really. The fact still remains my cameras that I have now are still doing the jobs I need them to do. Having a Z6 II compared to, say, my D850 and the type of photography that I do isn't going to make me more photography sales, nor will it increase the chances of me getting more photography work. But in saying that, if I were getting into a new full-frame mirrorless camera system for the first time, was, for example, a portrait or wedding photographer, needing that improved performance, better iDetect, and dual card slots for security and peace of mind, then yes, I'd consider the Z6 II. It's light, easy to operate, good and low light, and you get that colour science, impressive dynamic range, and image quality that Nikon is renowned for. Fantastic little camera. That is the Nikon Z6 II. I hope you enjoyed the video today. As I always say, never stop creating, and I'll see you next time.
Hello? Can I have my camera back?